If you really can understand this mental model with this kind of intersections, you finally can expand your energy levels. In the other view, we have the modern lack of energy, mental, emotional, physical, and full energy. Modern lack of energy. Most people don't realize they are not running out of energy. They are leaking it. You wake up tired, maybe for scrolling all night. You push through your tasks. You do everything right. The YouTube routine tutorial, the schedule, the focus, and still something feels off. That emptiness between effort and result, that's the real fatigue. You really don't know what to do. Because energy is not something you just have, it's something you need to build and protect. And most people don't know how. They try to generate energy through force, hard work. But the real energy is created through connections. It's not about doing more, it's about aligning what you already do. You see, energy has its own geometry. It moves in turn loops, not lines, not strange lines. And when those loops are broken or simple open, you lose momentum. So, today I want to show you what I call energy loop. It's not a morning routine. It's not motivation. It's a structure that you can create like an architect. In other words, arquitecto. Three loops: mental, emotional, physical. And inside each loop, three small cycles. And I think this is a keyword: planning, execution, and learning. Nine total, nine pieces, like orbits moving in harmony, that together create motion, balance, and clarity. When you understand this, you stop trying to find energy because finally you'll create your mental model. 1. Mental energy. Let's start with the mental loop. The mind burns energy through friction, conflict between what you think and what you do. Every time you overthink, you compare yourself on social media, analyze, you burn the same energy you could use to build something. And the reason people get mentally tired is not because they think too much, it's because their thoughts don't close the loop. Here's what I mean: your brain works in cycles of feedback loops: planning, execution, and learning. If one breaks, the whole loop and energy collapse. When you plan without execution, you get anxiety. When you execute without reflection, you repeat mistakes. When you learn without applying, you become a philosopher without direction. That's the mental fatigue nobody talks about. The extraction of unclosed loops. The pain here is not confusion, it's fragmentation. Your mind splits into multiply and finish process. You scroll, you think, you imagine, but nothing feels complete. And this is the first frame because probably you consume content to compare yourself. And I think this is the first source of energy loss because you become an overthinker. You need to design your motion, you need to design or rebuild your mental energy. And finally, you can build clarity with this kind of mental model. Think like a designer, como un diseñador. Before building anything, you outline the structure. So ask yourself three questions every morning. Planning: what is the smallest possible plan I can commit to today? Learning: what is the single execution that proves I'm moving forward? Free execution: what is the one thing I learned today that changed tomorrow's plan? With these three questions from a loop, you'll notice something strange. Thinking stops being touring. Your mind starts breathing again. You start feeling lighter, even when you're working hard, because energy doesn't come from doing more. Energy comes from removing mental noise. And that's the first loop. That's the first framework. That's the first mental framework. 2. Emotional energy. If the mental loop is about direction, the emotional loop it's about connection. This is where most creators, entrepreneurs, and thinkers lose more energy than anywhere else. Not because they feel too much, because they don't know how to feel productively. The emotional loop also has three stages: planning, execution, and learning. But here, they look different. Planning, why am I doing this? Execution, how does it make me feel? Learning, what does this experience teach me about myself? And I think emotional, it's the previous extension of remotion. Most people skip the entire loop. They suppress, distract, or overanalyze emotions. Overanalyze emotions. They think emotions are irrational, but emotions are data, signals from your nervous system trying to align with your purpose. The pain in this loop is disconnection, that sense of doing everything right, but feeling emotionally empty. If you can understand emotion like pre-emotion, like cause and effect, and the extension of your mind and body, not like a feeling, but like the previous thing about how you can move. This is a real intersection between mental and physical energy. And I think emotional is only the bridge. You don't have to overanalyze your emotions. You can have perfect habits and still feel like your life doesn't move because we have the emotional coherence. There is no internal motion, no current to power the mind or body. When you go for a walk and your thoughts start quitting, this is the moment when your emotional loop tries to synchronize again. Your nervous system wants balance, not intensity. And walking, simple rhythmic motion, creates just enough movement to regulate emotion. This is the architect to connect their different points inside your mind. Number 3, physical energy. People think physical energy is about strength, stamina, or health, but that's only the surface. Your body is the hardware that runs the software of your mind. If the hardware overheads or underperforms, everything crashes. This loop's pain is resistance. You feel dire, stuck, disconnect from your own body. You try to think your way out, but you can't intellectualize your way into motion because motion is physical structure. The only way out is movement. Walking, stretching, even breathing deeply are physical feedback loops. When you move, you tell your brain, I'm safe, I'm alive, I'm adapting. In that moment, your survival stress drops. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus and problem solving, activates again. That's why ideas come while walking. Know when you are on social media, know when you're staring at screens. This is the real difference. In other words, you can see the real emotion. This is a real emotion. Emovere in Latin. En latín, emovere. Emovere en latín es movimiento, motion. Motion plus exterior. Exterior plus motion. Emovere, exterior plus motion. Because if we can connect the real mental mind with this kind of movement and you can design the movement, try to understand. Motion is the final mission to connect body and mental energy. There is no resistance. You cannot intellectualize your motion because motion is physical structure, in other words, rhythm. And from this level, this is not optional. You need to structure your mind in planning, execution, and learning. Make your one list of planning, and you need to check one of these kind of tasks. And the question is, what I did today? And you need to make a check. When your body moves, when your brain reorganizes chaos, you start recognizing natural patterns in trees, in people. You see rhythm where before there was noise. And suddenly, Your physical world mirrors your internal one. You realize that energy is not something you store inside, it's something that circulates. Your body is the conduit, your environment is the feedback. Once you understand that, every step becomes a signal, a pattern into a larger loop of being alive. And final, full energy levels. Now imagine the full blueprint, each with three smaller orbits: mental, clarity, emotional, coherence, physical, vitality. Nine total circles, each one feeding the next, like gears in motion. When they align, you stop living reactively. You stop chasing motivation. Instead, you start recycling energy. Every thought becomes a design, every emotion becomes fuel, every action becomes feedback. That's how energy compounds, not by addition, but by circulation. And the secret of most productive people isn't that they do more, they do more with less. They learn to load their experience, to close their cycles of learning, to move from emotion to insight, from emotion to meaning, from clarity to creation. Energy is not motivation, energy is not coffee, it's not productivity hack. Energy is alignment, continuous conversation between your body, your mind, and your emotions. When one stops listening, the others start shouting. That's what we call stress. So we try to understand this like a master extractor of your mind between mental and body. And this kind of connection is your emotion. Because if you feel something right now, in this moment, en este momento, but I think this is only the bridge. Because if you really know what to do and you do it, you probably feel any kind of emotion. This is a real power to keep your energy levels. You need to close your energy levels. And that means you need to design your motion, what you need to do, planning, execution, and learning. This is the way you can close your loops. This is the way you can focus your mind into your mission, your own mission, your purpose. Okay? But let me see in the comments, what do you think about all of this? Mi casa es tu casa. If you have a different perspective, no matter, you can share it. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you soon in the next video. Muchas gracias. Adiós. Chao, chao. Bye bye.